What's up, guys? Got this HRN216 in the shop today just for a quick tune-up. Also going to replace some wheels in the drive wheels in the back. But to show the couple steps that I go through to do a service on one of these guys. Pretty quick and simple, pretty easy, just the basics, but some key pieces that you don't want to overlook. So first and foremost, before we get started, we're going to take the air box off, or the air cover off, and we'll check the air filter, clean that all out, probably replace it. We'll move right over to the spark plug, oil, blade, the rest of the regulars. So first thing we'll do, get this air box off. And I do this guy's machine every year. He keeps it pretty clean. Sometimes I'll just clean this off with an air gun. Does a pretty good job, but since this one looks like it's getting on the older side, I'm just going to go ahead and replace it. I'm going to clean out this air box quick and come in with a new air filter. And just like that. Also going to clean this air box out a little bit. We have a new air filter. Next thing I like to do is take a look at the spark plug. Oftentimes people like to replace these plugs, but I don't think it's necessary to replace them all the time. Usually I just kind of clean them and test them. So take a look at that plug. Actually doesn't look too bad. We'll look to see if that gap is too small. We'll look to see if it's all blackened over or real white. That tells us how it's running. This is a BPR5ES spark plug in GK. Careful with like those two-prong spark plugs. I don't find good luck with those. I happen to see them foul out more often than not. So I'm gonna clean this up real quick, and then we'll do a quick spark test. I'm gonna do a spark test on the tester first, and then clean it, and then after see if it's any different. So I got a little spark tester here. Just be careful when you do this. I'm gonna look to see what this spark looks like when I crank this up. And that's a pretty good blue color. Let's clean this. We'll check it again, make sure it's not foul, make sure it looks good after you're cleaning, and then we'll do a good, we'll double check the gap. What I like to do with these, I'll get this tip real hot. Then I'll hit it with the wire brush or a wire wheel. Just be careful not to touch this metal, it gets hot. You just want to make sure there's no carbon buildup on there. Gonna hit it with a little bit of brake cleaner quick, and then wipe it off one more time. All right, looks pretty good. Like I said, you can clean this up real good with a wire wheel. Just be careful. You don't want to take off any material or anything there. Now let's check the gap. We got a gap checker here. I like to do right around 3/100ths of an inch. So that's this guy right there. This is kind of on the tight side, so we'll just open it up just slightly. There we go, right around 3/100ths. Okay, if it's a little too much, just tap it and double check. Right there, perfect. Now, I'm going to do a quick test again on the tester. Good, nice and blue. You don't want to see like a red, you don't want to see a red flame there. Blue is good. Okay, that looks real good, sparking real well. So I can put that spark plug back in. One thing you might do in a normal tune-up is check your valves. But I rarely see the valves go out, especially on these Hondas. If it had a running problem, I would definitely go in there and check. Also, you got to check. See how this is slightly dented here right at that O? People run into things, trees, branches, whatever. If you dent this too hard, you'll actually push this valve cover into the valve, and you'll hold your valve open, and you'll have a running problem as well. So if you haven't, just check this. If this is dented, if you're having a running problem, or if you have a running problem or a leak, you'll have to take this off and adjust your valves and reseal this with gasket sealer. And when tighten this, not too tight, just use common sense. Easy to strip that. And we'll put the cap back on. Now I'm going to run this for a few minutes. This does run, has fresh gas in it. The gas was empty over the winter. I'm going to run it for 30 seconds to a minute to get the oil hot, and then I'll show you how to drain the oil. Okay, that run for about a minute. You can do this on the ground. I have this up on horses. What we're going to do is we're going to tilt this on the side and drain the oil right out of the fill cap right here. I'm going to tilt this up, start catching the oil. Set that on the ground. Now I can let that drain for a little while I go around to the other side, and we'll take the blades off and give them a good sharpening. Okay, while that's draining on the other side, the oil, let's get these blades off. I think this is 17 millimeters, but the 9/16 works as well. If you don't have an impact, you'll have to kind of jam this up in place with like a 2x4 or something and use like a breaker bar or a strong wrench. But the impact works really well. All right, we'll have the quad cutters here, the double. So Honda has the double blades here. We're going to take this over. This one looks like it's got a couple dings in it. We'll have to get that ground down and get it nice and sharp. The secondary one looks pretty good, just a ding right there. So let's take it over to the vise and we'll get the grinder out and sharpen these guys up. Make sure you got your eye protection, ear protection. Again, I'm going to try to get some of these nicks out of here. So I'm just going to go over once over twice to get a flat edge, and then we'll go through. This is around a 30-degree angle. All right. Doesn't have to be super sharp. Just got to get a little bit of an edge on it and get these burrs out of here, okay? So it doesn't tear your grass and it cuts your grass. All right, now we're going to go in on an angle and get this flat. Pretty good. I'm going to make one swipe on the other side with the grinder to get a flat, smooth side. All right, that's one down. Again, don't worry about these little like nicks in here. That's fine as long as it's pretty sharp. Again, it shouldn't be so sharp that it would cut your finger. All right, but sharp enough that it's going to cut the grass. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other three, and then we'll get it to balancing. I'll show you how to do that. Again, don't make this too sharp. Don't hold your grinder under here too long. If it starts turning black, it's getting too hot. You got to get some water and cool that off and get that cut. If it starts turning colors, blue, black, you're heating it and you're going to lose your temper. Okay. One more thing here before I finish up with the other blade. Most of your cutting surface is right out here towards the edge, so that has to be like the spot that's like your sharpest. Obviously, all this is gonna make some contact, but most of the cutting happens at like the last third. So just you don't want to get this cut down too short. If it gets too short, then you're time to replace your blade. And also, if you have a lot of nicks in here, it's also like really big nicks. It's time to replace that blade as well. Again, on this guy, we got a lot of nicks here, so I'm gonna have to take this down a little bit to get this nice and flat. And then so we're gonna have to take a little bit more off on this, which means if we have to do both, we'll have to do both sides because we have to balance this blade and make sure it's nice and even. All right, that looks a little better. Don't worry about it being a little wavy. If it's a little bit lower and higher, that doesn't matter as long as you got a pretty good sharp edge on it. Not, as I said, not super sharp, but enough that it's going to cut. All right, all four sharpened. Now we're going to take it over. We'll put it on the balancer, and obviously, if one side's heavier, we just got to take off more material. All right, here. So here's the second side. Make sure it's right in the center, and we'll let it go. So that's pretty good. I mean, I would say I'm maybe a hair heavier on this side, but some of that could just be the grass on here. You know what I mean? Bunch of clumps of grass off, and we'll try it again. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. I would say it's slightly dipping on that side, but that's not enough to make a problem. If I want to, I could just shave the side a little bit lower, but I think that's good enough. Let's get the other blade. Again, make sure some of this grass is off when you're measuring, when you're balancing. Dead center. And that looks pretty spot on. So both these guys, pretty good. Didn't have to really go back and take off much more than that, so we're good to go. So now we can put this back on, and then we'll finish the oil change. I like to add a little bit anti-seize to the bolts just to keep these guys from rusting in. And when you're installing these, the flat side goes down towards the earth. The beveled side's up towards the machine. Tighten that down. Normally I'll clean up some of the grass in here, but I already cleaned this before I brought it in. I'm going to clean up some of this debris on the axle here, and then we'll put it back down on the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and fill up the oil here. This is 10W30 synthetic. Regular 10W30 works just fine. This engine, this GCV 170, takes 0.42 quarts. So, measure when you're going in, and then I'll show you how to double check your work. All right, this should be close. Let's double check it. All right, when you're checking oil on these guys, you're not screwing the dipstick in, you're just tapping it. So tap it in, bring it back out. And that's pretty good. Might be a little bit high. Nope, that's perfect. So it's right at the bottom there, perfect. Again, you don't want to screw this in because that'll give you a bad reading. Should be right there at the lines there. Okay, so that's done. Now another thing I do is I take the wheels off and I clean up the axles. So let's use a little bit of brake cleaner on that. Some people will grease these, or like a dry grease. I tend to find that if I just keep them really clean, it doesn't wear out the wheel, and it doesn't collect a lot of dust. If you grease it, it collects a lot of dust and they kind of get sticky. So if I clean off the wheel pretty good, clean out the hole here, then I seem to have pretty good luck with that. The wheel will probably wear out before this does. What happens is this will get real wobbly if that wears out. A lot of friction in there. So I'll do that on the other side, and then we'll do the back. So like I said, on these are so shot, we're going to come in with the brand new wheels and put the new ones on. But same principle. Okay, I'm going to start it real fast and make sure that the wheels drive, let it run, and we'll double check the oil. All right, let that run a little bit. Let's double check this oil real fast. Make sure we're on a level surface. Just touch, pull out, and it's right to the tip. Perfect. All right, one more thing I like to do before I button this up is get a good RPM reading. I'm going to use my Easy Tack here. All right, I usually just leave it on the 2-stroke, 1-cylinder. It's good enough. This is where you are doing your reading, and he's going to hold it up against there. So I'll get it started. I'll hold that up, see if we can see that number. I like to be somewhere around 3,000, give or take 100. I know anything over 3,000, you're starting to push that engine a little bit too high. You're revving it a little bit higher than it needs to. 2,900, 3,000 is going to be perfect. So I'm going to set this up. I'll get it started. I'm going to lock the handle down so I can run it and step away from it. Just be careful because your blade's running. And we'll set this up and give it get a good check real fast. All right, I was getting 2950, 2920, somewhere around there. I'm happy with that. Sounds really good. If you're really high or really low on that number, you're going to come over here, and this is how you adjust your idle here. You would just kind of bend this tab inward or outward, okay? And that'll give you more or less pressure. So inward is going to be slower speed. Outward is going to be the more tension you put on the spring, the faster your RPMs are. So you want to keep it at around 3,000, slightly less, no big deal. So that's pretty much it. I said we did the air filter, we did the spark plug, we cleaned and gapped the spark plug, we changed the oil, we sharpened the blades, we balanced the blades, we cleaned up the axles. I usually go around and tighten all these nuts and bolts. We check the idle speed. One other thing I usually do is check the pull cord, make sure it's not frayed, and it's easier to replace while it's intact than after it tears. One other thing you could do is check your drive speed and your drive cable if you need to adjust it, but that seems to be pretty good, and that's customer preference. And then also we replace these wheels. So I'm going to put a link in the description where to get this air filter, where to get the tools that I use, the Easy Tack, the balancing tool, the spark plug tester. So if you have any questions or anything, and any suggestions, hit me up in the comments. You can check out my other videos here. You can check out my channel there, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.